Hello! I'm Cedar and welcome to my game review. My first game for 2024 was Kena Bridge of Spirits, a 2021 action-adventure game released by Ember Labs. The story follows Kena, a young spirit guide who uses her magical abilities and cute little rots to help the deceased people move from the physical to the spirit world. Overall, the game world is interesting and really beautiful. You care for the story of the side characters as they can be partially very in-depth. That being said, I really didn't get invested in Kena's story. She just wants to be a better spirit guide, as she lost her teacher, who was her father, prematurely. It's very Pixar in looks, but also in how the characters immediately love Kena and want her help or request it. Combat in the game is very challenging. I played on Master Spirit Guide difficulty, and basically doubled the intended length of the game as your average gamer, not a Dark Souls enthusiast. As the story progressed, it really felt like we went from a lot of story to a lot of combat. In part, was a reflection of how many tries and the time it took to beat encounters or bosses. For playstyle, most Souls-like games, in my opinion, are based heavily on parrying to do damage, or to find an opportunity or window for damage. Yes, there is parrying in this game, but I found it hard to execute as I didn't understand the intended timing. However, unlike other Souls-like games, I felt like it gave you a lot of other abilities and ways to maximize damage or do AoE effects. I particularly loved the bombs. The graphics for this game were astoundingly beautiful, which isn't surprising given the developer is an animation studio, Ember Labs, and this being their very first game. I find the art style makes the genre of Souls-like games accessible to people of every age and those with vision disabilities. Most Souls-like games are low contrast, very dark, and have a small color spectrum, and most of the enemies can be honestly terrifying. Kena, on the other hand, is very bright and high contrast, which makes it inviting for younger gamers. This game sounds gorgeous. On a whole, with auditory feedback on most of the actions and interactions throughout the game, the only issue I found was the main menu screen needed to be a little more distinctive in their noise or atmospheric sounds, as at a low volume it came through as white noise rather than the intended forest sounds. Like most challenging RPGs, this game included a New Game Plus. I've never enjoyed or been particularly interested in the New Game Plus, but it does add to the replayability for most people. That, and the option to make the game harder if you've played on an easy difficulty to begin with. For a single storyline based RPG, the fact that this game included a Christmas event, at the time I was playing at least, is a little bit strange. Christmas events or limited time events are usually typical in an MMO to get people to log in regularly, and not quite suited for a game where you play it once or twice and maybe don't pick it up again. Overall, I loved this game. All targets hit hard and were a compliment to one another. It's like a good book that you just wish you could forget, just so you could experience the story all over again. I'm really impressed by what Ember Labs delivered on their very first game, and I look forward to future releases.